Good morning. Thank you very much for coming out on a rainy Wednesday morning. Welcome to BRK1052, which is the exam prep session for MS-101, the Microsoft 365 Mobility and Security, or as I titled it, Everything You Want to Know About Enterprise Administrator, but we're too afraid to ask. This session is only 45 minutes. Yesterday's was 75, so it's a bit of a faster go today. Good to see some faces from yesterday from the MS-100. Today, my aim is to give you three things. What the session objectives are for this session are to prepare you for the exam without giving you any answers. It's not an exam cram. It's not designed to be walk out of here, take the exam if you've not done anything before. It's designed to give you an understanding of the sort of areas the exam will cover, what Microsoft exams do generally, and some hints and tips as to the areas you should be thinking about and what may be examined more heavily than others. And then some links and materials that you can use to study for Microsoft exams for this one and generally. My name's Ed Baker. I'm a certified trainer. I work in the UK and I've been teaching for a long time, but I've been teaching this topic since it came out 12 months ago extensively. So Microsoft certification changed dramatically in the last 12 months. 12 months ago at Ignite, Microsoft announced they were moving to role-based exams. So historically, you would take a server exam or a system center exam or any other product-based exam. Now you take exams based on a role. Long process to work out what the roles are and who does the roles, but the role you're here for today comes under the modern workplace roles, and it's the one on the right-hand side in grey, the Certified Enterprise Administrator Expert. It's one of the top-level exams in Microsoft now, the expert level. You need to take 2 exams to get this certification. Starts right at the back end on the left-hand side with Fundamentals, which is a single exam, about an hour long. And to get the one on the right, you need to have one of the certifications from the middle as well. It's not to stop you taking MS-100 and 101 if you don't have, but you won't get that certification unless you've taken one of the others. Fastest route to it is either the, it's actually the Security Administrator, because that's a single exam, the MS-500. Not the easiest, but definitely the quickest. So what role have we come up with? This is designed, the Enterprise Administrator is the person who maybe creates the tenant, certainly sets the tenant up, adds domains, sets the services up, external sharing. They know all about the top level administration of a tenant. Less so the day-to-day functionality of managing desktops and managing Windows 10 and managing other devices. But you need to know all the policies and procedures and ways of managing those devices as well. Underpinning all that, you also need the industry knowledge and the technical knowledge, things like networking, DNS, Active Directory, and especially Azure Active Directory. How do we get this exam, or how do we study for this exam? As I said, you take the first path, and then after that, you need to study 2 exams, the one I did yesterday and the one today. At the bottom are the 3 areas that you study for this exam, the areas the questions are based on, which is modern device services, security and threat management, and governance and compliance. This is very much a design, planning based exam rather than a functional doing exam. Microsoft exams themselves are evolving. They haven't changed that much yet. There are still, on average, between 40 and 60 questions. You could sit next to somebody taking the same exam and get almost identical, or you could have 15 questions different. It depends how they come down. They're all weighted. Each question is weighted individually, so you could have different questions and answers and different weights on each question. You should expect to be in the room for up to 3 hours if you take the entire time of the exam. You get up to 30 minutes to make comments at the end of it. And you no longer just get multiple choice. There are all sorts of questions. Top tip on the case studies is do not read the case study. Read the first question, look at what the question's asking, go to the case study, and find the areas that relate to that question. The case studies can be really long. And if you read the case study and then go to question 1, that's great. Go to question 2, you've forgotten half of the case study because you've focused on question 1. So always read the question in the case study. There might be 5 or 6 questions. Go back to the case study and find the areas you want. It'll say something like, you need to deploy app 1, bearing in mind the security requirements. and there's a big tab that says security requirements. So go to the security requirements and then find everything else in the case study that relates to App 1. Otherwise, you will read the case study about 5 times. I also forgot to mention, come and ask questions anytime, but please ask them at the microphones so the people at home and everybody else can hear. So that's the questions themselves. There is also a new addition to Microsoft exams. I don't know if anybody have taken any yet, but performance-based testing. Not just testing you on what you know, but what you can actually do. You'll click a button after a few questions, it'll take you into launching a portal, and it'll have between 5 and 8 tasks, and it'll say, go and do this, go and do that. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it right. At the end of that test, or that particular part of the test, it will be scored and added to your final score. You can get 1 or 2 of these, up to 10 to 15 tasks available. So that's exams, a quick run through from exams. What you're really here for is what the exam contains. Again, top tip on this is go to the exam webpage, so Microsoft.com, either learn or learning, find the exam you want, and list the objective domains. The objective domains will be in 3 areas, and under each domain there will be lots of sections that it will examine you on. Copy them, create a OneNote, drop them into the OneNote. And then follow your study through OneNote. If it says you need to go and create a domain for a tenant or verify a domain for a tenant, go to the domain, do the tenant, copy it, and add it in. So you can see your study journey and make notes for yourself. Link it to lots of docs.microsoft.com sections as well. I particularly learn by doing, so I would want to do that each time. So we've got 3 areas: modern devices, security and threat management, and governance and compliance. And you can see here the amount of time or the amount of weighting that's placed on those 3 areas. 30% to 40% on each of them. So you should spread your study over all 3 quite evenly. First section, modern device services. You can see here this is focused very clearly, as it states, on devices. It's focused on MDM, compliance, what you're going to deploy to those devices, and we're not limited to Windows. Microsoft 365 includes Microsoft Intune. Microsoft Intune manages just about every platform. iOS, Android. And then deployment of Windows 10. So you should spend your time fairly evenly around those. So as an example, what I'm going to do for each of these sections is bring up a few slides with some information and the odd hint and tip about where you would study. So here, the section says plan for MDM. Questions in Microsoft exams where it says design or plan will normally be fairly wordy questions and often with fairly short answers. Or they might be drag and drop answers or build a list of what you might do in what order. So you need to work at a slightly different level than, oh, I need to go and click this button to achieve this. You need to read the question with a focus on how would I get to this level? How would I get to this stage? What would I need to do? So obviously here we've got cloud-based management versus hybrid management. And in MDM in the Microsoft world, we're talking about the difference between Intune and Configuration Manager, or as they both now fit under the Microsoft Endpoint Manager title. So you need to know something about Config Manager, which might be a shock to the majority of you who don't know anything about Config Manager, but you wouldn't need to be an expert in Config Manager, but you'd need to know what it does, how it does it, and how you would configure it in terms of using co-management with your devices. Integration with Active Directory. The 100 exam is very, very heavy on identity and authentication and AD Connect and connecting into your Azure Active Directory and synchronizing your identities. This is less so, but you need to understand how you can integrate your devices into Azure Active Directory. So if you're using Windows 10, you can join them to Azure Active Directory rather than join them into a normal Active Directory domain. And again, knowing System Center Config Manager. Certain areas, you'll get questions about, you want to prevent your users from enrolling too many devices. You want to limit the number, or you want to prevent them from enrolling in certain types of devices. You would need to know where to go and do that. and you'd need to know what the limits are. Quite a few questions may well cover, how can I do this and what is the maximum or minimum I can do? It's also really important, with Windows 10 having an evolution every 6 months or so, things get built in and they're rarely backported. So you could only do automatic MDM enrollment and Azure AD join from 1709 onwards. As we go on each 6 months, that'll become less and less relevant because obviously it doesn't support it for much further beyond that. Therefore, you wouldn't be asked questions about operating systems that are no longer supported. One of the big areas is device compliance. Device compliance is a fairly simple solution. It tells you lots of things about your device. You can use it for audit. You can use it with conditional access. You can use it in lots of ways. But a nice little flowchart to help you with device compliance. Know the prerequisites. What must you have to use compliance? Where does compliance sit in the Microsoft or Office 365 or Intune stack? What devices can be marked compliant or incompliant, non-compliant rather? So this flowchart here is quite simple. It says start. Is the device enrolled in Intune? No, therefore it's marked non-compliant. If it is, have you assigned a policy to it? The default is no, so it would be marked as non-compliant, or optional, marked as compliant if you want to mark a non-policy device as compliant. Work your way through there, practice it, learn by doing, get a device, build a virtual machine on Windows 10. You've got Hyper-V on Windows 10, build a Windows 10 virtual machine in your Windows 10 so that you don't mess around with your own devices. Build a trial tenant. If any of you have partners, you can sign up for demos.microsoft.com that will fire you up a brand new tenant, lasts for about a year, full of data and information you can use to practice with. So I mentioned that device compliance works very well with conditional access. So conditional access. Conditional access is one of the tricky ones in this exam, because you can use or instigate or set up conditional access in a number of different places. And you can use multi-factor authentication with conditional access in a number of different places. So knowing where you can do it and how you can do it is very important. It gets even more important when you start doing it, when you look at all the levels you can set. So just saying, yes, you need to do a conditional access policy is fine, but a conditional access policy can work at different levels in different ways with different levels of access and different methods. So here we've got a slide that says you can use it on particular users or groups. You can use it against applications or against complete sign-in. You can set conditional access based on a sign-in risk. If the user is a medium or high risk, don't allow access. So you can set conditional access as allow or deny. So I can imagine a number of questions being asked in a particular way that would not be confusing, but have to lead you through a path of, if I want to do this, in my mind, I've got to think about the chain of this set of settings. Added to that, we're in a cloud world. Things change every week. So these interfaces will not remain the same all the time. The settings will often remain the same, but the interfaces won't always be the same. So don't rely on thinking, oh, I know I click this, this, and this, and it's there, because when you come to the exam, if it is a performance-based test, you'll go, yes, oh no, that's gone. As a trainer in Office 365 or in Azure, you prep on a Sunday, you come on the Monday morning to do the demo you practiced on the Sunday, and everything's changed. So it's an exciting world. But that's the world you will face when you're doing it for life, because you've signed up to this modern solution. So here's your overview of conditional access. User tries to sign into an application. Conditions are checked against whatever policies exist. Is it an application policy? Is it a location policy? Is it based on a user or device, or any or all of them? What conditions am I checking? Am I checking whether it's compliant or not? And if all of those are allowed, and it's an allow policy, you will eventually get access to your application, all without the user knowing. So we need to know all of those. We also need to know planning for apps and devices. Any section that says plan, don't expect the questions to be deep into the interface. They'll be about, you want to deploy this application in this way, what would I need to do? And it would be what policies I would need to create or how I would set it up. Another area that not many people use when they're starting with Microsoft 365 is the Microsoft Store for Business and the private store. Obviously, if you're an Autopilot user, then you might be using that method of deploying Autopilot. If you're not, then the Store for Business is the area in which you can deploy applications and licenses to users and groups for either line of business or other applications that you've purchased. So you need to know, what permissions do I need? How do I publish these things? What role-based access requirements are there on the Store for Business? What browsers can I do it with? As a hint there, the answer is never Internet Explorer for any of those. Another little tricky one here, features on demand and configuring language packs. How you manage those and how you use those has changed dramatically as iterations of Windows 10 come through. So at the bottom there, you can say, WSUS for features on demand and language packs is only available prior to 1709. Doing it on a share is only available prior to 1809. And in Windows Update, you can use group policy in 1709, but in 1809, that's the only way you can do it. I forgot to mention at the beginning, there's practice test questions in here. So there's one for you. In this section as well, under mobile device management, you will find things about mobile application management, whether enrolled or unenrolled. So we have here a question. You need to design a MAM policy for Android devices that enforces a PIN request if Outlook is inactive for more than 10 minutes. What policy type do we need? And this question wouldn't be presented like this. It would be presented as two drop-downs, and you just choose which you want from each drop-down. Anybody got any ideas? B and B. B and B. Access requirements and app protection policy. One of the minor difficulties in a lot of these are a lot of policies sound the same, the difference between protection and configuration. And if you think you know the product but you don't use the product or don't know the product, you will often make just a slip of your pen when you're ticking the answer. The other thing is that one word in a Microsoft exam question can direct you down a path you don't want to go. So always read the question really carefully. We often read questions thinking, oh yeah, I know where that's going, yeah, and your mind takes you where you want it to go, which is often the distractor and not the right way you want it to go. So the second section, security and threat management. Big section on cloud app security. Cloud app security, you would need to know when you get it, which is an E5 tenant, if you've got an E5 license rather. If you have E5, you can use cloud app security. You would need to know the functionality, so get into cloud app security and use it. If you don't have an E5 license, take a trial. Or if you are a partner, use demos.microsoft.com and you can sign up for a full E5 12-month M365 demo tenant. Threat management, using all the AI and machine learning technologies of Microsoft, using Azure Advanced Threat Protection as well. Where does that come in? Is that E3 or E5? You need to know what happens in each license, what you get, what you don't get. Advanced Threat Protection or Microsoft now, Advanced Threat Protection. And all of the security reports and alerts. Another difficulty we have with Microsoft 365 is our portals. Sorry, our admin centers. Our admin centers are fluid. So I have a tenant that has security and compliance, but if I create a brand new tenant today, I will have a security admin center and a compliance admin center. and what appears in each changes. So you will find fewer and fewer questions based on exactly where you find things, but when you're doing the performance-based test, that's critical, because you need to know where you find things. Yes, ma'am? Can we have the microphone on? Thank you.
Are there tests, are they going to test on nuances between ATP bolt-ons and the E3, E5 version?
Without giving things away I'm not allowed to give away, you will find differences, or you will find the exam focusing in some ways on the differences between E3, E5 and business, because Microsoft 365 Business does things very differently and gives you things that doesn't appear elsewhere as well. Bolt-ons, unlikely, but you should find, it should focus on the major functionality of the product. Some things are really hard to ask questions about on the major functionality, and you end up asking questions about licensing and that sort of stuff.
And then I'm assuming Defender is out of scope for this test?
Defender is?
Is it out of scope?
It's up there.
Microsoft, oh, it is up there, okay.
The MD-101, or the MD-101 exam, is the one where you'll get lots and lots of questions about Windows information protection, Defender on the product itself, Defender ATP, and agents and things. This is more about setting services and how you, don't like the word, but how you see what is surfaced on those portals and admin centers for you to take action on. So that would be more about reporting and what actually does it report. So a question could be, you want to find this, this, and this. Which one of these products would you use to do that? Would it be Defender, Microsoft Defender ATP, Azure Advanced Threat Protection, Cloud App Security? So some of them are quite high level, but if you don't use them, you would not necessarily know. Okay. Also, reporting and alerting. If you do the courses for these, reporting and alerting is normally right at the end, in module 9, 10, or 11 on the last day when everybody's ready to go home. In the 101 course, it's one of the first modules which shows you what they think about it and how important reporting and alerting is at the enterprise admin level. So, Cloud App Security, this slide's really just in here for you to be aware when you get the deck afterwards for you to read through what you can do. It is a phenomenal product. If you don't use Cloud App Security, at least get the trial and test it. You can do oh so many clever things with it. You can even now do set conditional access on apps and session control using Cloud App Security as well. So you just need to know what it does, what the limits of it are, how you can use it, and what it applies to, and of course, what license you get it with, which is E5. The exam shouldn't, but could, test you on the difference between Office 365, M365, EMS licenses. It's an M365 exam. If it's going to talk about licensing, it will normally tell you at the top of the question, you have this tenant and this subscription. And then it'll ask you questions about what you can do. It shouldn't try and confuse you about those things. So here's Cloud App Security. Integrating into Defender as well, or Defender ATP. So you can do discovery based on what's happening on individual machines as well as individual users. Also allows you to do Cloud App Discovery, which is a separate product as well, but it's built in here. You can bring your logs from your firewalls into it to see what your users are doing and what your users are using. And allows you to take remedial action. So a question could be, you want to quarantine a user that's copied a file into a non-secured area with confidential in it. That's a Cloud App Security type question. It also integrates into Azure Information Protection very nicely. So you can enforce actions on endpoint devices as well. And we've got the Microsoft Defender ATP. Now it's been released on Mac OS. It's now called Microsoft ATP, or Defender ATP instead of Windows. Questions on those could focus on agents, could focus on how you onboard devices, because onboarding is you do it in a particular way, how you offboard devices as well. And then we've got the focus on the security centers and secure score, all your incidents, all your devices at risk. Quite a focus on secure score and the Office score as well. And And here's the difference between the security, looking at your compliance. So, section 2 practice question. Your company uses cloud app security to monitor user behavior. You need to enable a custom alert when the file downloads exceed a defined threshold and suspend the account until an investigation is launched. What type of cloud app security policy should you create? Session, file, access, or activity? Any ideas? It's activity. You've done something. It's about a file, but it's an activity one. That's a typical type of, the distractor there shouts file, doesn't it? I've done something with a file, but it's not, it's activity. Also be aware when you're creating things or when you're testing yourself on cloud app security, go and create policies of different types, because the workflow of the policies is different and what is available in Microsoft apps and other apps is different. Who you can alert, how many times you can alert, all those sort of things. Final section would be your governance and compliance. And when I was putting this deck together, I passed it through the powers that be, and they said, please focus on this. Which is great for me because I'm English, that's fine. I don't mind talking about GDPR. I know it was 12 months ago, but GDPR is a big thing. There is even a GDPR dashboard in your portal to help you understand what areas you're compliant in and what areas you're not. So focus on all of the reporting and governance areas in here. So we're looking at data loss prevention, Azure information protection, and I would look at the Azure information protection not only from the service level and the PowerShell level, but look at it from the client app as well. If you don't use it, download the client app, integrate it, track and trace, track and revoke. Look at the web interface for that. Understand that as an administrator of a tenant, you can track and revoke anybody's files that they have made available in AIP. So if you go into the app, right-click, look at the file you've protected, go into the top right-hand corner, there's a little icon there for administrator, click it, put the name of the person you want, and it will list all the files they've ever used. Not a widely known or widely used feature. Auditing, always a big thing, especially in Exchange exams, and some of this will be Exchange, so you need to look at auditing. Audit policies, creating policies. This is a planning and design, so you're going to want to configure your policies as well. And then the dreaded litigation hold, e-discovery, content search. Who can do it? What can you see? What can you access? Role-based access will come into this as well. And of course, GDPR. So Microsoft's approach with this to information protection is we've got the Azure Information Protection tool that will classify, and if you've got the E5, it will auto-classify documents and files as you want them based on the content, as does DLP. It integrates into DLP, and now we have universal or unified labeling across both AIP and the Microsoft 365 areas as well. That could be a focus. So we can then place that based on policy and take action across whether it be a device, an app, a service, or even something on premises as well, because we can use the AIP scanner on premises to scan our documents in our file shares. So we've got a number of different protection solutions. On the devices, you're thinking of Windows information protection. Unlikely, I can't promise, but unlikely to be an answer in this exam, but it's highly likely to be a distractor. Windows information protection. It's more likely to fit into the MD-101, but I couldn't say because I wouldn't know. And then, of course, on the devices, which would be for Intune, MDM, and MAM. What sort of policies would you create to protect the things on those devices or the files and resources on those devices? At the service level, you've got Office 365 DLP. Notice that's across Office. That's not just Exchange DLP. So it covers SharePoint, it covers OneDrive, and Exchange. So knowing where you create a policy for that is important, and where it will take action and who you're applying it to. And then at the cloud service and on premises, you've got AIP and Cloud App Security, which covers across both areas. Within the M365 portals, DLP becomes easier than it used to create than it used to be in the Exchange, because you now have a nice workflow to create it. Go and create yourself DLP policies. Open them up, look at all the options, look at what you can do, look at what you can apply it to, because you can choose now where you apply it, whether you apply it to individuals, which applications or services you apply it to. Automated reporting as well, you get emails now. And then we get the incident review level this one happens to be showing the security and compliance portal rather than the compliance portal. So I can't give any advice about what portal you're going to face in a performance-based test. I would imagine it will be a brand new tenant, which means you'll get the security portal and a compliance portal. But just make sure you know both. Make sure you know what's working in each, what you can do in each, and what each applies to. And then we've got content search. Perfect question for role-based access. Content search, who can see what is searched? Who can scan what people have searched? Are you searching across your entire environment? What does it work on? Quite a few questions could focus on, you want to carry out this across this, this, and this, and it'll give you a number of services. Does that service work across all those platforms? Content search works across everything. And then we've got the e-discovery, litigation hold type searches as well. And archiving. Quite a focus on that as well. Also need to create yourself a couple of investigations, have a look at them, see what information you get on investigations, look at all the tabs. To me, if I open something new I don't know or haven't used before, I see a number of tabs, and I just go and read the tabs and look at them and see what I can do in each. And of course, we've got advanced e-discovery as well. Set up a case, carry out the advanced e-discovery. Know the difference between things like content search, e-discovery, supervision. The supervision feature is a great feature. Filter number of internal and external emails from a user or a group of users to see what they're sending in and out of your organization. It's not an e-discovery, it's not a litigation hold, it's just a content search. And then if EMS isn't your thing, it should be, but if it isn't, understand what you get with each level of EMS. E3, E5, know what add-ons you get, know what you get from Azure AD P1 and P2 that comes with them. So the products. Could even get questions on advanced threat analytics, which doesn't really sound like a Microsoft 365 type question, but it's a high-level service tool that you deploy on your domain controllers to analyze what's going on in your environment. It's a protection tool. You should know it, download it, use it, play it within in an environment you control. And your final practice question. Your company uses Microsoft 365. You're the company administrator. Users protect documents using Azure Information Protection. You need to ensure that the users in the data supervisors group can read protected files of users who have left the company. What should you do? Add the user to the Compliance Data Administrator role in Security and Compliance Center. Add the user to the Security Operator role in the Security and Compliance Center. Run the Add AIP Service Role-Based Administrator PowerShell commandlet, or run the Add AIP Service Superuser PowerShell commandlet. Sorry, shout. B and D sound very similar. Votes for D. Votes for B. The Ds have it. Super user can be enabled how? PowerShell. You will find increasingly, I don't know if it's still the case, but PowerShell now in exams tends to be only really examined if it's the only way you can do something. It's not gospel, but that's how I've found it over the last few exams. It tends to be far less prevalent than it used to be. 2-3 years ago, you'd take an exam and it'd be PowerShell City, but it isn't so much anymore. So run the AIP service super user PowerShell commandlet. So those are the 3 sections you need to concentrate on: governance and compliance, security and threat management, and modern device services. How you prepare: I prepare in a particular way. I use my OneNote. I build everything. If it's in the exam domain, I will go and do that thing so I understand how that thing works and how it impacts. Now, you can't really do it across every setting and every option, but at least if you understand what that part of that service does, when you get the question that's at high level and say, which service would I use? In Azure exams, you get them about, it'll give you an answer of security center, monitor, and they do so many, or advisor, and they do so many similar things that you really do need to know which one does what. So how can you learn? Well, Microsoft has changed its learning experiences quite dramatically in the last 12 months. Microsoft.com/learn. Not learning, Microsoft.com/learn is where you can find bite-sized chunks of things to help you. There's nothing at the expert level yet, but there are lots of areas that cover expert level material. So Azure Active Directory is in there, DLP's in there, lots of little things. You can sign up and set yourself a learning path. If you want to know more about that, head over to the hub, go and see us at the Microsoft Learn area, the certification area. Events like this help, obviously. You should find local events in your area that can help you train up and learn things. Microsoft are now doing quite a few customer and partner courses for AZ900 and MS-900 if you're fairly new to the environment. Classroom training obviously keeps me in a job. If you're local and you know a good training provider, use them. Always very good to sit in the classroom, but you learn the way you find best. And then to validate it, certification. Again, I'm a trainer. I have to be certified in the things I teach, so I need to go and take exams. By the number of people here, you all think exams are important as well, which is good. As I said at the beginning, go to the exam page, download or take off the objective domain and start working through it. And then especially, just for this Ignite, you can take 2 free exams. Now, the first free exam might be all sold out. So you can take them on site, go to the certification area, I think it's 222, just outside the hub. All the scheduled ones are sold out, but you may be able to get a walk-up, just turn up, because some people just aren't turning up. And if there's a space, they will put you in. But if you go to this location afterwards, it'll explain what you need to do. Up to 6 months after you leave Ignite, every attendee, that's 30-odd thousand attendees, will have 1 free exam. You need to sign in with the email address you use to register for Ignite, which for a lot of you won't be the email address you use for exams. But in that process, you can link the two, and it will recognize that A, you're an exam taker, and B, you were at Ignite, and there won't be a voucher. It just will have a 0 value when you register for the exam. And it's not registered within 6 months. The exam must be taken within 6 months. So what do I recommend you do now? As I said, go to the learning booth, come and talk to us, get some individual advice and help. Go and schedule your exam. If you think you're nearly ready, over in the hands-on labs area, which is next to the learn area, are 80 machines where you can take practice tests for this and other exams as well, which is from Measure Up, the Microsoft preferred provider. And then go head off to the Microsoft.com certification site to see what you're doing next. There are 18 of these sessions. We're rapidly running out of them because it's now Wednesday. They're all recorded. They're all streamed live. If you want to do other exams as well, head across to those. If your topic isn't there, it may have been there last year, in which case get onto YouTube and search. So I did a server one last year. There's no server ones this year. But there's been several years where we've done the same technologies. Which leaves the customary 4 minutes for questions. Any questions, anybody? Or have you all asked them? Don't be shy. Okay, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to, edbaker1965, or connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll find that most Microsoft trainers will help outside of their classrooms. Just ping me with any questions. Yes, sir, you've got a question. Can you come to the mic? You have to come to the mic. I can't hear you properly. Thank you very much, the rest of you.
Where did you say the practice exams are?
Hands-on lab area near learning. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great Ignite.